All right, I am out in front of my parents' place today. Shout out. I am giving you a full van tour. So we're gonna start at the very beginning. Here she is in all of her glory. She is a 144-inch and a dually wheel. Taking you inside of the van. You notice first the LED beautiful lights all throughout. Those run on solar, and the panel, I'll show you a little bit more later, it's hidden right here. You can fully adjust those. As you can see, the bed right now is fully extended. It stands on a bar. The bar folds up underneath, and you just push the bed back, and it folds into about half the size of 75 inches. And that becomes kind of like a really comfy couch with a lot of pillows on it. Technically the bed would fit somebody 6'3", but there's a lot of wiggle room or feet dangling room at the end if you're a bit taller. I wanted to show you all of the shelving kind of close up in the van. As you can see, these are bungeed in, and that's meant so that you can stick clothes or anything in without it falling out, but not having to open up a tons of cupboards and not having the correct size cupboards for some things. Also in the front of the van, we have another piece of netting that you can throw wet jackets or towels or anything that you want to dry overnight, or just extra heavy bulky items. Besides having a ton of under cabinet storage, under bench storage, these all fold up and all allow for extra storage inside. And then of course this drawer pulls out. And I will show you the van later when the bed is all folded up so that you can see all of that storage. All right, so we're gonna go through the kitchen. At the top, we have cups for coffee. We have plastic cups, some tea, loose leaf tea in here. We have coffee. We always have coffee. We also have tissue. We have tissue, essential oils, because you know why. Also empty mason jars in case you want to put any of your own dry goods in there to use on the trip. There is extra shelving up here if you want to put any other food or any other items. Some glasses, some plastic glasses, and some plastic bowls. And there's usually a full set of 5, but clean a dish, there's a lot more. Okay, behind the kitchen sink, there's a few little things, some battery operated candles for setting the mood. There is a Bluetooth speaker that you can connect to, and you can connect this one to this one. I have surround sound. Super fancy. Again, those are rechargeable, but should last a couple of weeks on the road without being recharged. Let's move down to the drawers. Inside drawer number 1, we have all the silverware you could ever need. We've got wine openers. I put a flashlight in here for you, and also that. Anyways, there's a second flashlight in the back of the van in case anything happens on the road that you need that for. All types of seasoning, some basil, some red pepper, and Cajun seasoning, a little bit of ramen chili oil, and my favorite, homemade nadi chai. Some tea, a little bit of Nespresso pods, and there's, collection of assorted sauces there. Some sanitized wipes, definitely some Glad plastic wrap, and always in fits. In the second drawer here, we've got your pots and pans, and again, some more plastic plates for you to reuse. Definitely great thing to have on the road. These are for you. Use them as you need them. Earplugs, and let's see, any type of cord that you could possibly need is in here to borrow, not to keep. Some tissues, some extra space for you to put whatever you want in, but I usually put bathroom products so that I can get ready for bed in here and using the sink. Okay, third drawer, the money drawer. We've got a coffee maker. It's very mini, maybe makes 2 to 3 cups of coffee. If that's not your jam, we've got a French press. We do have a grinder in here, but try to bring freshly ground coffee so you don't use solar power on a grinder, as it's a lot. Also in here we have a huge thing of tea, every kind of tea you can possibly need or want. Those are fully for you to use. We've got every utensil you can need: tongs, knives, spatulas, can openers, garlic mincer for those fancy folks, and a grater. I know there's a peeler in there. What else is in here? Oh, cooking oil, some soy sauce, and my favorite, electric battery operated pepper and salt grinders. Again, they're all for you to use on your trip. Tupperware, some mixing bowls, basically everything you could possibly need to cook with, because we like to make our own food. Oh, all right. Under the sink. Hey, so reusable bags. This is a mat to dry your dishes on. We've got the case for the butane stove if you want to put that away. Of course, everything cleaning supply you would ever need. Dish soap labeled dish soap. We've got the fire extinguisher in an easy to spray can. Also installed for safety reasons is a very official fire extinguisher if you ever need it. I hope you don't. I really hope you don't. Okay, why am I going upside down? There we go. All right, and of course the garbage can just folds open like this or like this. It also comes out. This is the gray water tank. Only holds 5 gallons. So that means you have a 22-gallon water tank. If you end up going through that in one trip, you will have to empty that at least 4 times. And if you don't, it will overflow into the sink and you will have a hairy problem. Water will spill everywhere. You do not want that. Okay. Yeah, you just make sure the water's off, detach it here, take it out from the belt system and dump it into a dump station or sometimes down a sewer drain. Back here is the water pump and the water filter control. So when I am trying to conserve power, I turn that off if I'm not going to use any water. And that just goes back here like that. One more thing. This is the carbon monoxide alarm. So this thing will save your life, especially as you're using butane and propane in a small space. You just want to check it to make sure it's operating always. And like a smoke alarm, will start buzzing if you need to replace the batteries. And that's it for underneath there. Underneath the fridge is a drawer for your laundry bag. This can be used during your trip, and also when you turn in the van, this is where you put all your linens before you return it. I have a few first aid items here, and also, ladies, just in case, emergency pack for you. And we'll tuck that back in. This is the refrigerator. Refrigerator also runs off the solar. Tiny little freezer compartment. I'm gonna be honest, doesn't really freeze things. Might keep it a tad cooler. And that's mainly the kitchen. So, making the bed into a couch and the couch to a bed. Very simple, simple system. Basically, it's sitting on boards that go in and boards that come out, and then a bracing system, almost like a drawer on the side. So you just have to make sure that when you're pulling in and out that you try to stay in the center, and if you get stuck, then you kind of shimmy the other way. You get the idea. What you want to do is to make sure that underneath the bed by the door, this little leg, the stabilizing leg, is put up. And I will try to get it, but there's a tiny little pin right here that you press and pull the leg in. And then there's a little itty bitty band that holds it together. What I do is I like to take down the blanket. I untuck the sides, untuck the sheet, and I'm reaching for underneath. There's 2 mattresses, so they sit flat side by side, and I'm reaching to grab this mattress to pull it over the top of the other mattress. Super simple. Climb up, go under the blanket, grab the mattress, and shimmy it forward. So, easy peasy. The center, and just kind of pushing, shimmy, you get stuck, shimmy the other way, shimmy, back till you hear that. Try not to be too forceful. Lots of times I'll just let the blankets dangle, because why not? So I have this basket here that I include washcloths and 2 towels for you to use on your trip. It goes right here. Now I can show you what's in the living room. This is the bench area. You can sit comfortably about 4 technically. Under each bench is additional cupboards. I put extra blankets in here. This is also where I store the emergency toilet, which we can talk about. Emergency toilet is only supposed to be used in emergencies. Of course, you can use it, but you have to clean it out yourself, and that means thoroughly. There's a big fine for returning it dirty at all, so maybe don't use it, or use it but be very clean. Okay, under each bench, again, more storage. These all fold up, lots of different things. There's a drawer under here. The fun part about being in here is that there's also a table attachment for when you want to have dinner. That table attachment is just right next to the counter. Looks like this on the bottom. Simply, you just put this into this bracketing system. There's a hole right here, and you put it right here into this bracket right here. And then you can tighten it down. Only tighten it down just a little bit, and it is adjustable. You can do lots of work in here, or you can actually kind of slide it this way, and it can become more counter space for cooking if you need to, or whatever you want. Some arts and crafts go wildly. Comes back out, just untighten and pull up. And it stores right behind the driver's seat, like so. Any other little things? Oh, I was gonna show you the control panel in here, LED lights, which is right here. You can switch the colors right here. You can turn to white lights. You can dim by going up and down. That's fun. Yeah, and that's that. And then always make sure to power off when you leave. Sometimes really easy to forget. Also, try not to forget to leave the fan open while driving. You get a lot of moisture in here otherwise. There's multiple outlets here, so they look like this, and they all have USB, USB-C. We're now at the back of the van. Inside the door you will see the heated shower. That's an on-demand water heater, so it heats up super quick. You throw the hose over the side of the door and you take a nice hot shower on the other side of the van, not in the back of the van where you can get water in the van and ruin the electrical. So just make sure that when you're taking a shower, you do it on the side of the van with the hose over the side of the van. And the water that operates the shower and the sink comes from the same place right here over the wheel well 22-gallon water tank. This is how you can tell how full it is, and when you need to fill it up again, you can see the line there. Also, the water pump is in there. The other thing that is back here is all of your electrical control panels and solar system. This cabinet, go ahead and stick this in there. Won't make a ton of sense, but basically those are your batteries. Your inverter's down there. It's a 3,500 watt inverter, which is pretty powerful. Right now it is a pretty cloudy day, so we're not really throwing too much power to these batteries, which is okay because all I have on are the LED lights. The refrigerator's off, the water pump's off, so we're really not pulling a lot of power. Your power will really depend on how much sun you're in, how much you run the engine, because the engine recharges the batteries as well, but also how many devices and laptops and things that you're recharging every single day. I always suggest bringing power banks, either 1 or 2, that can charge your laptop or your phone several times before you're charging them through solar. Other than that, these knobs right here, if there ever is a power issue, if you turn these off, these turn off all the power. And this button right here also, and that turns off all the power into the cabin. So we don't want to do that unless we are setting up for storage or something. If you need to, let's say, reset one of these breakers, so you just come in here and you just pop it right here. Here's the solar, the inverter, the vehicle, and then you pop it back in. That's basically like popping a breaker at home. You do the same thing to reset it. I've never had to do that, so I don't think that you will either. This also has Bluetooth capability. You can connect directly to the Renogy Bluetooth app and monitor your power, so you know when not to charge devices. Other than that, in the back I have, always for your entertainment, a grill that goes over the fire in case you have any outdoor fires. I include a slack line and a chalk bag, volleyball, there's a football in there, and an air pump and an aerobie and bungee cords, tie downs for the roof rack in case you need those. Everything must be returned at the end. There's also an extra flashlight and some roadside hazard supplies in case anything happens and you are on the side of the road. You want to stay visible. Also, just in case, but usually ask that you don't use this or anything, is my toolbox. I got some tools in here, again, for things that need fixing along the road. Another thing I always keep in here for you to use is a foam roller, an extra foamy mat, and kind of like an outdoor picnic blanket. This I will go into more depth about. This is the DEF fluid that goes in the engine, which sometimes you might have to put in if you are on very long road trips. So again, you would have to pop the hood, and there is a very clearly marked DEF spot container where you put the DEF fluid in. DEF fluid is very corrosive, so I ask that you put a lot of washcloths or towels around everything but the spout, and pour it in very slowly and carefully. And I include a lot of extra towels and washcloths for you just in case you need them along the way. Another thing, if you go to a campsite, an RV site where you can hook up, I do include an electrical cord, and this is where it hooks up to shore power right here. You just flip this, and there's a plug right there. I would plug in less than 30 amps, no more than 30, or you might put a little bit too much power into the van. The other thing is, where do you fill up on water if you need it? Right here. It's on the other side of the van, and I include a hose, connect it to some groundwater, and slowly fill up your tank. Try not to do it super fast. Other than that, I think that's the back of the van. Oh, the blackout curtains here. These are just magnetized. You can stick them to the window. You can have them half up, half down, whatever you want to do. Sometimes while driving, it's nice to have them down so you can see out the back a little bit more. But at night when you sleep or you want some privacy, put those bad boys up. Some other useful things to know are that the passenger seat in the front actually actually turns around so that it faces inside of the cabin, and the only way to do that is just to release it right here, and then it just pushes out. Just make sure it clears, it's not leaning back, so it can clear. And you turn it around. I think the other things I want to show you are on the driver's side. Super important to remember that this diesel engine, not a gas. If you put gas in here, it will cost you upwards of $1,500 to get the fuel pumped out of it and diesel pumped back into it and making sure it works again. Hopefully it didn't do any permanent damage, because it can cost a lot more than that. So I put a little note here: diesel only, gas will kill me. And if you didn't see that, that is a little cubby right inside the driver's side door. There's no button for it or anything. It just comes right open as long as this door is open. And diesel only. Diesel. Anyways, moving into the driver's side. Couple things to note: that while you're driving, on each side of the mirror, there are sensors to let you know if there is a car in your lane. If you turn on your blinker and you go to switch lanes and there's a car there, it'll beep at you. It's a really good safety feature. Another safety feature is it'll give you a little beep 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 if you are crossing over a line and don't realize it. It's another really good safety feature in here. No turning those off. Those should be on for insurance purposes. Other than that, everything else is pretty self-explanatory in the driver's side. Maybe some mirror stuff here. If you want to adjust your mirrors, right here is a left mirror and then move it around, or right mirror and move it around. Starting the diesel engine, just make sure that you turn the key for a long time and you really let it rev up. It's not like a gas engine where it's supposed to turn on right away. It sometimes will take just a little bit, so just remember that. There are sensors on the front and the back to let you know if you're too close to something, but always get out and check before, or get help. Wave someone down to tell you if you're too close, or when to turn or something like that. Just pull into spaces that are way too big for you and don't worry about it. That's what I do. Making the bed into a bed instead of a couch. So I just take the blankets and I push them over the bed so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take the bed from the middle of this bracket, and I'm going to slowly shimmy my way all the way out to this wood piece right here, which is the wood stopper. That's just where the bed ends, and don't try to go over it. Try to stop right here. And then as you can see, there are little brackets right here, and that's what you're trying to kind of shimmy down on both sides. All right, here we go. Like so. And then I'm reaching for, there's 2 mattress pads, reaching for the top one, and I'm just pushing it until it slides into place right next to the first one. And not out the back door. And then I'm grabbing the sheets first and pull those down. And then I'm just wrapping those over underneath the bed. I'm grabbing the comforter now. Pulling that down. Tucking this in on both sides. Adding any extra blankets. Voila. Here's how to use the outdoor shower. The first thing I want to mention safety feature wise is that this is an on-demand water heater. So you cannot have these hanging over while you're taking a shower. You're going to actually have to pull these down and put them in the van. Because the heat comes out from the top and it will light those on fire. So unless you want to pay for them, don't do that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is connect the gas. So the gas line is this black line. So we're gonna just grab this tube, put it right into the propane tank, screw it in, make sure that it's pretty tight. Don't overkill, and then you'll see at the top there's open and close valves. We're not going to open it right now, we're just going to connect it. The second thing we're going to do is grab the hose or the shower head from your tub back here. The shower head is a quick connect, and the quick connect will go right underneath to connect red to red. It's kind of nicely labeled here. And then I want to point out too that there are labels under here in case you get confused. There's an outlet label and a water inlet label and a gas inlet label. So this is going into the water outlet because it is the shower head. So now we're going to quick connect this in and really just push up, pull down, and make sure there was like a little snap that goes there. And then we're gonna grab the water. This is directly connected to your 22-gallon water tank. We're going to connect it to the water inlet. It's putting water into the water heater. And again, this is a quick connect, so push down. Make sure it's in the unlocked position first. And put it in the little locked position, if you can see it. There, okay. Now there is also a label on the water inlet. You can see it's on or off. So once you turn this position up, the water will be on. So before we do that, we're just gonna turn on the gas. So come back up here, turn on the gas. We're gonna come down here. Actually, we're going to put the shower head over the side first. That's where it should be. You should be taking a shower on that side. If you take a shower over here, you could get water in the van and damage a lot of electricals in the back. So we're gonna turn the water on. I went from this position to this position, and now we can look at the water heater and we can see that the gas is in the middle, which is like maybe a medium heat, and then the water's at max, so we could start with maybe in the middle. And if it's not enough pressure, we can turn it up. So if we come back over here, take a start.
Yeah.
So it might take just a minute to warm the water, not very long. There's a stop button right here that you can see that you can press. And there's also kind of like little different types of water that will come out if you change it. It's already warm, so that was like 1 minute. You can take a nice shower. And then to put it away again, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is I would drain out any extra water that you can. And then make sure that it's in the stopped position to store it, so water doesn't come out when you're first starting it. Then do the quick connect to disconnect the shower head, and then let any extra water hang. I just put this up to I just press the stop button and open button to get the extra water out. I'm just gonna let it hang so that it can drip dry. Then come over, we already turned off the water, so we can disconnect the water again. There might be a little bit of water that spouts out. Back up. There we go. And then we're gonna store it in the same position we found it, just right here. Try to shake out as much water as you can. Alright, we'll get inside. So where that goes. Then we turn off the gas, make sure it's very off, in the off position, and then we're gonna twist it, and then this just goes right over the top and hangs down. You can kind of just tuck it in so it doesn't prevent the door from not being able to close. And then you can throw back up your magnetized blackout curtains if you want to. Easy peasy. That's how you use the shower. So how do you use the butane stove? So it's going to come with a butane can already prepped. You'll see that it's in the unlocked position. That just means that the butane can isn't open and can't be ignited. So this is the position you want to leave it in all the time while you're not cooking. When you go to cook, you're gonna first lock it into place. See that it's locked. See that this is on the 0, which means there's no butane yet. Close this door, and then you're going to turn, and you'll start to hear a hiss. That means the butane's on, and you just want to click the flame until it ignites. And you can see that it's on now. And then you can change the temperature by letting more butane out or not. And then to turn it off, you're going to turn it into the closed position. And then again, you need to unlock the butane, which makes it so that there's no leaking butane while you are sleeping and can kill you. If you run out of butane, there is an extra can always under the sink. And to use it, again, pop this off. Disengage this little bar right here. Pull this out. Put your new can in. There's a little divot right there. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll want to put that in right where this little metal clip is. It like perfectly syncs up to that. And then that's your new butane. Again, make sure it's in the 0 butane is going out and the unlocked position right here until you're ready to cook. That's it. If you have any more questions, please feel free to message me. My Instagram is The Direction of Love. Seriously, The Direction of Love. All one word. I love talking vans or remodels. If you need any help with anything, have any questions, feel free to reach out.